Hey there, hey, this is Michelle with Brilliant Quest, and today I want to talk to you about how to know when your mind is lying to you or helping you. All right, now, have you ever had a situation where you just really thought something was going to go a certain way and it didn't, only to figure out that you had gassed yourself up, you had, lied to yourself? Well, first of all, let's correct that. You weren't lying to yourself, it was your mind. And I have talked about this book many times in other videos, but I'm going to say it again. It is so cool that this book has a different way of approaching teaching you these kinds of things. And the book is called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And in this book, Napoleon has a conversation with the devil. And in this conversation, the devil talks about the temptations that he uses. He talks about what it really means to have the idle mind being the devil's workshop. And in there, he makes this statement that is, I found to be really truthful. And he says that he will allow thoughts to test and tempt people. And once they accept these thoughts, then he's got them. And this is one of the areas where folks don't realize that you're not your mind. You're above your mind. Your mind is part of what you use in this mortal plane. And I'm not talking about the brain. I'm talking about the mind. Okay. And so your mind can lie to you and your mind can help you. And I used to think it was really hard, and I'm not going to say, oh, it's just so easy. But what I'm going to say is it becomes easier as you bear in mind that you are not your mind. You're bigger than your mind. And you practice, okay, at getting better at understanding when your mind is hallucinating or lying to you. And that area, I like to call it wishful thinking. So with wishful thinking, first of all, wishful thinking is, and you guys, my allergies today, so please forgive me if I'm scratching my nose. But with wishful thinking, it's always, and I know I don't like to, be so absolute, but it's always going to tell you what you want to hear. It's always going to give you the yes. It's always going to, hype you up to believe the way you want to believe. And it is really good at sounding like the voice of wisdom. It's really good at sounding like the natural course of what you want. But it will try you. And if we are to believe what Napoleon Hill said, it could be that devil doing it, giving you thoughts. Case in point, have you ever had a thought, and we call them intrusive thoughts. Have you ever had an intrusive thought enter your mind and you didn't come up with that? You know that wasn't you. Yeah. Intrusive thoughts are not yours. They're not. This is the funniest thing about the neural part of science and what they're learning, how we can actually catch things in the energetic field as a thought, and they're not ours, and so one of the areas that we have to, and on top of everything that we do, we have to realize that we are not our minds, and the buck stops here. We have to make sure that we are managing and filtering the thoughts that the mind gathers and entertains. Because like that book, Outwitting the Devil says, if I can get you to accept that thought, then you'll do all the work I need. And that's something that your mind is really good at. It is good at cultivating thoughts. And so the first thing that I have had to do, and I'm not saying that I'm 100% on this, of catching my mind when it's lying to me, but I've gotten really good at it. And that is filtering it through the origin of the thought. Where did this thought come from? Is it good for me? Is it good for others? Is it a win-win? And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times things that we really want, we attract certain thought energies to tell us what we want. I'll use an example. Say, for instance, you're applying to get a promotion or even a job or something that gives you gain and benefit. And you're like, oh, please, I want to get this. I want this job so badly. Oh, please, right? And then you settle down and your mind is like, you got this. They're going to call you today. They're going to give you what you're asking. You got this promotion. You got this, that kind of thing, right? You grasp onto it. And then when you don't get it, you fall into a shaky situation where you can't trust your mind. And I've done a few other videos about how I went through not being able to trust my mind. And you don't want that. I wouldn't want that on my worst enemy or yours either, and so you never want to put yourself into a situation where you have to second guess yourself. The thing about when your mind is lying to you and you're getting this wishful thinking, pause. And what you're going to do when you pause is you're going to step out of it and pretend that you're someone else. And you're going to have to become objective. One of the things that I used to not accept, or it wasn't even on my radar, is that when your mind is lying to you, it is never objective. It is always subjective. Always. And that is a big ding, that your mind is hallucinating, lying to you, wishful thinking, telling you what you want to hear. Now, how do you be objective? Let's take that situation that I just talked about. You want that position so badly and you just think it's yours and all of this, right? Well, objectively, what are the chances that there might be someone more qualified than you who is applying? If you don't know that answer, then check it out. And like I said, when I say check it out, meaning you can't go and figure out who all applied, but what you can do is you can go back and look at your qualifications. You can look at, and that's just the lowest hanging fruit. What you want to do is you want to look at your proximity. Like, did you get in there because of word of mouth, of networking, of proximity to the decision makers? Do they know you? 9 times out of 10, if you can say about, okay, no, they don't know me. I don't have any proximity. I got the interview and they said they would call me back and they haven't. It might be that, and I said might, because it could be where you get the job, but it might be that you are overcompensating by allowing your mind to lie to you because you don't want to face the reality that they haven't called you. You had the interview and there was not a sense of excitement of moving forward with you. And so to placate yourself because you've been waiting for 2 weeks, you're like, oh, well, they're going to hire me. I'm going to get that job. I hope this is starting to click because I am telling you what I know and not what I heard. I am telling you about how our minds can fool us, but then our minds can help us. And when you start to cling towards the objectivity of the matter, your same mind that was doing all of this foolishness and, placating you will help you. And that is when you demand of yourself to be objective and when you demand of yourself that you are going to handle the truth, no matter if it is for you or against you. Because on the one hand, it hurts to know I didn't get the job. But the no's are much stronger than the yeses. They can save your life, but they can also free you up to move on to what is for you. Because no, it simply means next. No is not a denial. No is a direction into the right path to get you closer and closer to your goal. And so when your mind is a resource for you and not stringing you along, it will help you because you are bigger than your mind. You're like, I'm going to be objective about this. And I am going to be cautiously optimistic that, yes, I did get that job. But in the meantime, let me look and see what's staring me in the face. Let me know how I can be more objective so that I can continuously be progressive in the goal that I want or what I need. Let me go here. What about relationships, especially if you are like trying to date or meet someone? Have you ever had it where you're like, oh yeah, they're just as into me as I'm into them. And you spend all this time and your mind is just lying to you because subjectively you want that yes, but the earth is screaming at you, you in danger, you better run. And it's doing everything it can to help you not get into a bad situation that is going to damage you and cause you so much unnecessary heartache. Again, we can still apply objectivity and willing ourselves to handle the truth appropriately and in a wise and mature fashion. The more you do this when you're trying to stop being duped by your own mind, the better you get at it. Now, like I said before, I wish I could tell you, oh, this is 100% fail proof and all this, but no, it takes practice. It takes denying yourself. And this gets me to my next point that I wanted to make, because I'm not going to keep you long about this, but I'm really just determined to give you some practical thinking things that over the years I've employed, and I've taken it for granted that everybody does this, only to find out that not necessarily, and that is, let's deal with lust. And when I'm talking about lust, I'm not talking about of the sexual nature. I am talking about lusting of the deficient nature. I am talking about when you're lusting for something that you don't feel that you have or that you can generate. And so you have this outward thrust of lusting for something. One of these days, if and when I talk about relationships, I'm gonna talk about limerence. Ooh, that one. Okay, but going back to not having your mind lie to you and instead flip the script where your mind starts to help you. When you want something so bad, there are some things I'm going to give you right now to help you to navigate. Is this lust? Is this properly placed desire? Is this properly placed want? Okay. Now, there's this other book. It's called Infinite and Finite Games. And I've talked about it before. And it is a very powerful book. It's very dry. I ain't gonna lie, it's dry. But it's good. And the premise is that in life, we have two major games that we play. We have the infinite games and we have the finite games. And for the most part, we spend a lot of our time playing both games. Some of them awares and some of them not so aware. Finite games are games that have a winner and a loser. They are a 0.0 games. Someone has to win and someone has to lose. And these games have certain rules to them. And the games are that you must know and agree to the rules, and someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. Okay. Now, the infinite games are the first game that we play when we are born, and that is the game of life. Infinite games are for the purpose of extending play for as long as possible. I'll give you an example of how lust comes into this so that you can understand better to approach. Is my mind lying to me because I'm in so much lust that it has to lie to me because I wouldn't hear it otherwise? And that is this. Lust usually loves to play a finite game where it might need to play an infinite game. Okay, so remember, infinite is for the sake of keeping it going for the longest time. Let's go back to dating and, even possibly marriage. And let's say that you're wanting to be with this special someone, and you're like, do they like me? And you're all up in it. And I mean, all you can do is just think about this person, right? And your mind is telling you yes, and they're gonna call you and all this kind of stuff. And you're waiting by the phone or whatever it is, and you're just all engrossed in all things this person. I mean, you can't think straight. You are all about this other person. Okay. I want you to pause and I want you to check and see what kind of game you are playing. If you are playing the game of for the sake of finding a significant other, that game is more so going to fall into an infinite game where it is all about elongating it and playing the game for the longest time. Weddings and marriage move into the infinite game. Dating is a finite game because the prize is to figure out if you are, quote unquote, the one that the person wants to settle down with. Well, here's where lust comes in really, really hard. Lust is where you're trying to tip the scales of knowing so that you can win the game at all cost. Now, remember, somebody's got to win and someone's got to lose. You're in lust when you're not even considering the other person. It's all about, I want to win. I want this person. It does not cause you to pause and think of anything else about this person. I'm thinking about some real situations where this was the case. Have you considered that maybe you met this person, you guys kicked it off, and then you became overwhelming to this person. And you missed the part where they said, yeah, I'm casually dating. I have something in my career that I'm working on, AKA I can't have major distractions right now. But all you heard was, I'm dating you. And you are like, oh, this is the one for me, because you either like them a lot or you're lusting for that position in your life to be fulfilled so you can stop putting the hiring sign out. And when you fall into lust is a very selfish finite game, and it is an illegal finite game. Because remember what I said about the book Infinite and Finite Games? When you're playing a finite game, everyone should know the rules. Because if you don't know the rules, you can't play, because you can't play to win. And with lust is always about stacking the deck so that you can play this game that the other person might not even be aware of what are the rules of the game, so they could have a right to, win as well. And so it becomes viciously so, because you can be blinded to your own lust. And you can tell sometimes when people finally do win and they get that person and then they don't want them. And you know why? They won. They weren't trying to turn this into the next stage, which was the infinite game of working on the relationship for as long as possible. And there are a lot of times where I'm thankful that lust is out here doing its job, because what lust will do is lust will teach you don't want no parts of that. And it will teach you that you must become aware of all the factors that you are privy to. It means you must do work. Lust is something that is very fickle. And like I said, it likes to hide even from the people involved in it. And it will have you out here bad. And so that is how your mind can lie to you, because it's working within the protocol and the script of lust. And then you get upset when the guy or the girl is like, hey, this is not working. Or, oh, no. Nowadays, they don't even say this is not working. They just ghost you. And then you go from relationship where you're getting ghosted and you don't know why you're getting ghosted. And you're saying, but I knew this had to be the one. Well, for one, you're working in lust and your mind is lying to you. And you're so far into your lust because you're trying to win this game, because the lust has driven you to just get this person. And lust has not even set it up for you to even think, what am I going to do when I do get this person? What happens? Because lust is indiscriminate. Lust will have you going for people that are diametrically opposed to who you are when it comes to living a well life. And I've seen many people lust their way through interactions and relationships and things only to get them, and the things and the people almost destroy them. And so that's another reason why I am talking about learning how to stop your mind from lying to you and to flip it to where your mind will start to help you. So I'm going to recap this because I want you to get this and start using it. So the first thing I want you to remember, you must become objective. Pretend like you're a different person. Step outside of that. Remember when we were talking about the person who's trying to get the promotion or get the new job? Being subjective, you're going to gas yourself up. You're going to say, I am qualified. I deserve this job. This job is mine. I'm claiming this job. No, be objective. Look outside as if you are a different person. Do you even know those people? Nowadays, most jobs are filled because of networking and people who know each other. Do you know these people? Are you the best candidate? If you can't answer that, then you might not. So learn how to be objective. If you have to remove yourself from it, the next thing is discover and decide, what game are you playing? And if you're playing a finite game to win something, that's fine. Just remember that you're not to be driven by lust. You're not to try to win at all costs. You're not to be uh, unaware, is what I want to say, unaware of what's really driving you to want something. It comes back to being objective so that you can look at all of the things that you can that are not just one-sided about what you want, but how could it be a win-win for more than you? If it involves many people, how can this be where it will be the best for all involved? And by doing these things and getting in the practice of doing them, your mind will start helping you more. Your mind will be able to not try to, lie to you and just live in wishful thinking. It will be able to start helping you really see all of the different things out there so that you can make a more wise assessment of what it is that you're wanting, what it is you're trying to discover, and what it is that you want to do. And this is one of the things that I encourage you to do, because doing this in a prolonged way where your mind lies to you, this is how you get into the land of delulu. This is how you become delusional. And there are too many people that, let's just be honest, they need to be deprogrammed. They really do, because they have lied to themselves so much. They just live in this reality that harms them. I'm okay if you want to fake it till you make it. I'm okay if you want to manifest by seeing things that aren't as though they were. That stuff works. But delusion is where it harms you, and it is never going to give you what you think that you're going to get. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to go on and I want you to watch this next video, and I want you to also like, subscribe, share, and comment, because I need to know, how is this helping you? How is this helping you on your brilliant quest? Because it is all about you getting mentally sharp. It is all about you being able to craft the life you want with a mind that is able to give you those things. And so this is Michelle, your big sis with Brilliant Quest. I'm going to see you sooner than later. Now go on, watch the next video and comment, like, subscribe. See you later. Bye.